Let's go, everybody. We're at Go Live Vegas Studios in the beautiful entertainment capital world, Las Vegas, Nevada. You are listening to The Crime Solver, and we got a huge show for you today. We have a spotlight case out of Missouri. Mark Fullerton. His aunt is going to be calling in, and we got to find Mark. He has been missing since 2020. This show is dedicated to finding missing people, cold cases. We have suspects out there that think they got away with it. But guess what? Now that we're involved, they're not going to get away with it. Because you got the Crime Solver, you got my followers, you got my TikTok, and you may be okay now, but we're coming after you. We're coming after every single suspect out there with these cold cases. Keep giving them to me. We are going to solve cases. And I want to thank all my TikTok followers. I want to have 10,000 followers this week. 10,000, because people know we're going to start solving crimes out there, folks. We're going to go over a bunch of things today, and we have a great show for you. Mark's aunt is going to be calling in about 6:10. It's about 6:04 now. I think our clock might be off a little. Yeah, it's about 6:02. So in about 8 minutes, if you want to call in, that would be great. So, folks, we have a great show for you tonight. I want to go over a couple things. Breaking news just happened out of Florida. It's a very sad case. A person was unalived by an individual. The newscaster came up, and while the newscaster was breaking the story, he came back and unalived the newscaster, then broke into a house and unalived a mother and a 9-year-old daughter. That just happened in Florida right now, folks. Just now as we speak. This world is getting more violent by the days. We have to do something in our country to stop the crime. The crime is out of control. You're not even safe to walk down the streets anymore. This just happened, breaking news out of Florida. We have to do something, folks. And, I personally think it's the bail problem right now. We had an individual out on bail in Philadelphia this week who, listen to this, he threatened his school that he was going to do something. They suspend him from school. He gets charged with these threats, and then goes out and unalives a police officer this week. So what are we going to do? Are we just going to leave people out in the street when they commit violent crimes? What are we going to do here in the United States of America? Because it's at a breaking point, folks. The crime is out of control. And listen, as our podcast goes, I want you to keep giving me stories, keep giving me cold cases, keep giving me missing people, because that's what I want this to be about. When you got these criminals out there doing this, this is the way we as citizens fight back. We fight back through social media. Believe me, it works. The more we get out there, the more chances of a crime being solved are, because it keeps it fresh in people's eyes. I was a detective, okay? If there was no pressure on you, you put the case in the background. But when you put pressure on somebody, it makes the cops do their job even more because there's pressure. And that's what we're going to do with Mark Fullerton's case today. We're going to bring this case up again with this aunt, and we're going to put pressure on the police to solve this case and find out where Mark is. 3 years this poor individual's been missing, and that's what we're going to go over. The other thing I want to go over today is police use of force. I'm going to start from the beginning to the end because I think that's a big problem. People don't understand how the police are able to use force. So once Mark's once we're done with our spotlight case, we'll go over all of that today. And please, if you have any questions, our phone lines are going to be open. You could call in any time at all. Mark's aunt, you can call in any time from now on forward. The phone's open for you. You're welcome to call now if you want. I'm going to give you the phone number out there. It's 833-847-7227. We were doing a lot of United States cases, but lately we had a case out of Ireland. We had a case out of the UK. So we are doing all different kinds of cases, folks, all different kinds. We also did a case. The kid's name was Harley, okay, Dilly. His story was really crazy. What happened with Harley was, and it's a closed case, but people want it reopened. Basically what happened, he got in an argument with his father. He left the house. They thought he was a runaway. He was missing for 10 days. He was found in his neighbor's chimney, an 8 by 13-inch chimney. Now, how'd this kid end up in there? Did he think he was breaking into the neighbor's house to get away from runaway? But it's very suspicious how this kid ended up in a 13-inch, 9-inch chimney. Okay, just don't make sense. That's one of the cases we went over this week on TikTok. So we want your cases. All these cases have been sent to me. Please send everything in. If you have questions, call. That's what we want. We want this podcast open to the world to solve criminal cases, cold cases, missing people. That's what we're here for. And we're going to have a spotlight case every single week. Hey, Lisa. I see Lisa said hi, Danny and Aaron. Hello, Lisa. Hand and Stone Spa. Anybody wants to get a good spa here in Las Vegas, Nevada, she is definitely the one. Her spa is the best. Thank you, Lisa. And I got that gift card for the spa. I'm going to do it soon. 13-year-old boy got shot by a cop while driving. I didn't see that one. In Texas. If not, you should have a look at it. The body cam footage. I will. Thank you. I did not see that. So you had a 13-year-old boy shot by a police officer in Texas. I did not see that footage. I will look at it, and I promise you I will do a video and give you my honest opinion about it. And listen, just because I was a cop for 27 years, that does not mean that I'm not going to tell you when the police are wrong. I will 100% tell you when the police are wrong. I'm not that type of person. Okay, so if I think the police are wrong, I am going to tell you. But on the other hand, if I think the police are right, I'm going to tell you that too. And sometimes that causes hurt feelings. But I'm going to tell you the truth each and every time, even if you don't like it. Okay? I'm going to tell you the truth. As we're waiting, we'll continue to talk as we're waiting for Mark's aunt to call in. Like I said, you can call in anytime. Make sure you dial a 1. It's 1-833-847-7227. It's going to be 1-833-847-7227. I'll go over a little bit while we're waiting for his aunt to call. I'll go over his case a little bit. Mark was over his girlfriend's house, and his aunt's going to explain this a lot better than me. Mark was over his girlfriend's house. He left his girlfriend's house and never seen again. She went to the bathroom. She says he left, and he was never seen again. The problem is Mark left without shoes on, without a shirt on. He left his truck. He left his wallet. And Mark has never been seen again since June 2020. Now, the police, as we're hearing, and we'll talk to the aunt when she comes in, the police never made the girlfriend's house a crime scene. Even though Mark always wore a cross, he always wore a cross. His cross was broken and laying on the floor, and they also found blood on the floor. They never, ever, ever made that a crime scene for some reason. I have no idea why. And that's the problem here. Mark has never been found. We don't know what happened to him. And there's actually a $20,000 reward up. And if we could put his picture up there, that would be awesome. I think Aaron's going to get that up now. As you can see, there's a $20,000 reward for the whereabouts of Mark. Not seen, like very suspicious. Nobody leaves with no shirt on, no shoes on. They don't leave their truck. They don't leave their wallet. I mean, if you don't think this case is suspicious, if the police in Missouri don't think this case is suspicious, they got problems and they need to hire new police officers. And I'm going to tell you that because this case is 100% suspicious. And it's just crazy that it's been unsolved here for 3 years. It's crazy. But I don't want to go. I want her to go over from the beginning to end with you. So I'm going to wait till she calls. Hopefully she'll be calling in shortly. Let me check to see if she messaged me. Is she calling? Okay, she's calling now. We'll wait for her call.
Did you know that we're the number one crime solver podcast?
We are the number one crime solver podcast. We had over, listen to this, guys. We had over 1,200 views after our show on our first episode. So that's 1,200 people. Things are going very, very, very good. What do you think of a Nicola Bully case, body being recovered? I'll go over all of that. As soon as she calls in here, we'll go over the Nicola Bully case, without a doubt. And I want you guys to call in with your information on that. Her body was found this week. I was handling that. I was on that case for the last couple weeks, and her body was found. To me, it's still very suspicious. I know they think it's not. They think she either fell in the lake or unalived herself in the river. I don't see that at all. And we'll go over that from beginning to end. And a lot of people on my TikTok are wondering why I have to use the word unalived. If I don't use that word and I use the real word, TikTok will ban my TikTok. They will shut me down. I can't use them words. So people pick on me a lot, and they're like, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? You have to. TikTok is one of the worst social medias for this. You have to watch every single word you said like we're kindergartens. Okay, we're in kindergarten.
Like a lot of...
I mean, it's like we're in kindergarten, right? We can't say the word. It's too stressful for us. So I don't get it, but it is what it is, so that's why we have to use that word. Okay, we're getting a call in here. Hello, you're talking to Danny from the Crime Solver.
Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Good, how are you? I'm so glad you're calling in. Where are you calling in from? Do you live in Missouri?
I'm right across the state line in Arkansas.
Oh.
Lake City, Arkansas.
Okay, and you are Mark's aunt?
I am. Maternal aunt.
Okay. Could we, if you can, and I know this is hard for you, it's been 3 years, but listen, when somebody's missing like this, I can't even understand how you feel, because I guess there's just never closure, because there's always hope, right? And hope will always keep you there, but it must be very hard for you to think every night, where is he at? Is he still alive? Could he be still alive? So we really want to go from the beginning to the end with this case from you, if you don't mind. Because I'd love for my followers to understand everything that will happen here.
I'd be glad to, because, thank you so much for giving us a platform tonight. Because, like you said, it's been almost three years now.
Okay.
And we had not one arrest.
Right.
And all these stories that they girls, I don't call her by name. I just call her Poison.
Okay.
She says she knew Mark and this, that, and another. Mark Ringle was a very vain person.
Okay.
He knew he looked good.
Okay.
I saw him walking out the house with not his glasses on, not his shirt on. That's a no-go right from the start.
Right.
And I used to call him Twinkle Toes because he would never walk across a yard barefooted.
Okay. So he cared about what he looked like? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of like me. I care what I'm look like, too. So I totally understand.
He did.
Right.
He, and so for him, hard to say he walked off with his truck sitting there. And see, later that night that she said it happened, she even drove his truck.
Okay. So she drove his truck even after she left. So how long was Mark in a relationship with her?
3 or 4 weeks. He was leaving on Friday of that week when he got paid.
Oh, okay. So he was just staying with her for about 3 or 4 weeks. And who ended up calling the police? When did you guys find out he was missing, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I don't at all.
Okay.
The last time anybody in our we heard from Mark was on that Monday, the 1st.
Okay.
So my mom had been sick, and she was at Debbie's. And that evening, Mark Randall called Mom and Debbie over at Debbie's place. Debbie's Mark's mother.
Okay.
And he said, "Grandma, how you doing? I might come see you." And Mom said, "Son, I really don't feel good tonight."
Right.
So Mom, Mom thinks if I'd just let him come over, because that was the last time anybody talked to him.
Oh my gosh.
So go forward to the 3rd, June the 3rd, which is a Wednesday.
Okay.
She doesn't call Debbie, or Fu is Mark Randall's father.
Okay.
She doesn't call them about Mark being missing until Thursday. And Debbie had to call, my sister. She called Debbie and said, Mark's missing. Mark's missing. And what do you mean he's missing? And so Debbie goes out there. Well, she walks in the door.
Okay.
And it's like a bomb went off in there. Table upside down. Did you see that picture I sent to you?
Yes. And so the table's upside down. The whole place is a wreck. And are you telling me that the police never made this a crime scene?
Never. We were.
Oh my gosh.
We were sunk before we got started.
Oh my gosh. So did the police search that house at all?
I was over here in Arkansas when this happened. When Debbie went over there. Okay. She said, "Poison," is what I call Ashley.
Okay.
She said, why don't you call me yesterday or something? How long has it been gone? Oh, just 24 hours. But my phone was dead. Well, on Monday night, she was seen driving, or Tuesday morning, early Tuesday morning.
Right. And
she admitted to getting in his truck and driving it after she pulled her magic trick, and he disappeared. So, we are supposed to believe this silly story about him walking out in his shorts. That's what he slept in, right. Black shorts.
Okay.
He walks out. He walks right past the truck, and she made him disappear. But for 2.5 years, that's what Plymouth Scott County is shoving down our throat.
Oh my gosh.
When the deputy got there, and initially on the 4th,
Right.
said he'd been gone since the 3rd. I mean, who in their right mind, when you walk in the house, looks around and the blinds are all messed up, the metal blinds? Hey, something's happened here, hasn't it?
Right. So it looked
You know,
like
precautionary.
so it looked like there was a fight there, 100%, correct?
Oh, yes.
So there was some kind of fight. Now,
I mean,
you said that there possibly was other people at the house that night other than her, correct?
well, yes. It was a catch-all for all the trash. Still is.
Right.
But that's why I couldn't believe when Mark was even with her. So I didn't even really, I've never even talked to this girl.
Right. What did
And you
the
know what's so?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, love.
I was going to ask you, what are the police saying to you? What did they say about this missing? They just think Mark walked away? They don't think this is foul play? They think he just left?
They did. They do.
Oh my.
They do. Because all we've been told for 2.5 years, we interviewed them. We interviewed everybody
Okay.
that you think, or we've heard in this. And nobody's story has changed.
Right.
And so they haven't done anything else with his case. Well, you know what? When they reach their stopping point and they've done all they can do, pass it off to the FBI, pass it off to the state boys.
Right.
Your deputy did not quarantine that house, gave it back to her. More of her friends came over. They put a new floor in that shack.
Oh my gosh.
New floor.
Listen, I just want to tell you, Jeannie, this is what should have happened. The minute they found out he was missing, and she says a story with no shirt on, no shoes on, he leaves his wallet. Nobody leaves their wallet and leaves their car. Nobody. That just doesn't happen. They should have made that whole house a crime scene, went and got a search warrant and searched that whole house, because I'm sure there's evidence in that house. I totally believe there's evidence in that house.
Oh, yeah. You know, and we're not even talking about the biggest thing that you never see Mark without.
Okay.
That's his cell phone. He left it there? I don't think so.
Oh my! So his cell phone was also left there.
Yes.
That
And then one of the
don't make
suspects-
sense. That don't make sense
No.
at all.
One of the suspects' phone was found out in that front yard of that house.
And one of the suspects' phones was found out in front of the house, like there was a fight in front of the house too. Then, that's what I'm thinking, right?
We don't know how it got out there.
Yeah. So
And,
that would make sense, though.
They
You
just
know.
handed it over to. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that would
They
make
just handed
sense.
it over to a mutual friend.
Oh my gosh. So
Gave it back to him.
what do you guys think as a family? Do you think there was some kind of fight? Do you think there was? Do you have any idea what went on? Do you have a guess?
I'm sure that there was a fight, which it pains me to say that.
Right.
That I mean, the front of her refrigerator was dented in. Somebody slammed somebody into that refrigerator.
So somebody,
nobody-
right? They pushed each other, or while they were fighting, fell in the refrigerator and put the dent in it. Then.
Right. And then when Debbie gets out there and food,
Right.
there's a bleach bottle on the stove. There's an empty spool for gray tape. And this house is just tore all up.
Oh my
And
gosh.
That is what we are expected to believe. I asked, you know, when I was sending out these letters and stuff, I'm like, we just want justice.
Right.
I mean, we can't believe this. And
Oh.
to think that they shoved this down our throat, it really makes them look stupid too. But I don't care. I don't care who they are or what they are.
Oh my.
Call in some help.
Listen, let me ask you this: did they prove there was other people in the house other than her? Is there proof that there was other people in the house? Do you know?
No, there's not proof. But
Okay, but you
that's
believe
been
there
said.
was.
Oh, yeah,
Do you believe
Oh,
drugs
yeah.
were involved here?
I do.
Okay, that's what I was
Okay.
figuring, but I wanted to make sure. I didn't want to say that. I wanted to hear it from you. So, do you think that? Do you think she was involved in drugs, or do you think Mark might have been too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, she was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Okay.
I want a blanket allegedly tonight. Okay.
I understand.
Allegedly, she was.
Okay, I got you. I totally
And
understand. So have the police? Let me ask you this: did the police close this case, or did they close it saying he's just a missing person, or did they close it saying there's no leads? Do you know what they did?
it's just sitting there, not closed. I myself have called the FBI, the state patrol, the governor, the lieutenant governor. I have called everybody and said, "Can somebody come in here and work this case?" Well, we haven't been asked to yet. From everybody, they got to ask for them to come in. I said, "Well, I guarantee you, nobody in that office is going to ask anybody to come in.
Right.
They don't want them snooping around down there."
Exactly. Did the police
So-
interview her? Do you know?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Did she go or did she lawyer up? Did she get a lawyer?
Oh, she went, and then when they were talking about the lie detector test, she apparently got a lawyer, or so I heard.
Oh, so she
Some of
never
them
she
did
never
take
took
lie
a
detector.
polygraph test?
Oh no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Have you heard, I mean, since in the last 3 years, I'm sure like you've been on other podcasts, I'm sure I see that you have, the reward and everything. Has anybody reached out to you guys with any good leads at all?
I think sometimes that's why people keep telling my sister these horrible stories about what Mark went through.
Right.
I mean, just 2 weeks ago, someone had a video, and they said it was of them pulling Mark's toenails off of his dead body.
Oh, my gosh.
And come to find out, it was just one of the idiots doing it to themselves, and they came up with that little story.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry.
It's,
I am so sorry.
Debbie and Fu are, I don't know how they do it. I told Debbie today, and she said so much that she wanted to be a part of this, but with Mark's birthday being Saturday, and we're going to do the 1,000 balloon launch,
Right.
and then we're going to do a candlelight service, but they're wore out.
How big is
I
this?
mean, we
How
all
big
are.
is this town?
404, maybe? We got a four-way stop.
Okay.
And you want to know what's so difficult for us? Mark Randall, well, there was 5 of us kids.
Right.
Me and Debbie, Karen, Chris, and Michael.
Right.
And we all grew up there together. And it has destroyed us as a family. We used to go every month. We'd go out and have birthday dinners.
Right.
And it was just a thing we always did.
Right.
Well, I never knew how lucky I was, because since that happened, we used to call each other about every day. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
Now it's just painful to hear my family talk.
I know. And, it's good to have you on the podcast because people don't understand the pain when somebody's missing. And listen, I don't either. I mean, I couldn't even imagine not knowing. I just couldn't imagine. I feel so bad for your family. And that's why I want to give you guys a place to speak so we can get it out there. And, I have 150,000 followers on TikTok. I did a video. I will do another one for you. What I'll do is this whole interview, I will do a TikTok just on this interview. So I will get it out there more. And I'll stay in touch with you guys.
I hope you do.
And listen, I just want to tell my followers out there, if you go to our thecrimesolver.com, we actually have a tip thing in there. You could press tips and give a tip about Mark, and we will get it over to the police and to his family. So if you're afraid to call the police for some reason, which you shouldn't be, but if you are, you can leave a tip with us, and we'll make sure you can go right onto our app, and we could give the tips right to Mark's family and the police. So if there is any tips for Mark, go to thecrimesolver.com. I just wanted to put that out there, Jeannie.
Oh, thank you. I mean, really. We lost my father in May.
Right.
And he was 80, and Daddy kept telling me, I won't find out what happened to Mark before I pass away, but I hope you find out in your lifetime.
Right.
And I'm like, these people, it's like growing up with a bunch of family.
Right.
And the fact that I know that they put their hands on my nephew.
Right.
They did something. And they love telling you a good story about it.
Right.
Oh, we cut him up. We burned him. We put tires on him. It's just unfathomable.
I am so sorry to hear this.
It's horrible. You know, Q, a service that does searches. Q came in there and helped us out, but we called them in.
Right.
As far as Pemiscot County, they have not had the first search for him.
Oh my
Ever.
gosh, that's insane.
So
That's insane.
Is it not? I mean, we're just sitting here with throwing our hands and saying, "Are we supposed to believe all this?"
Right. Well,
there's
hopefully
not anything.
We got to put pressure on them, and the best way to put pressure on them is keeping it out there. And I know you guys are, because I mean, as soon as you guys contacted me, you wanted to get on the podcast to keep it out there, and that's what you got to do. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I have 27 years experience, 14 years as a detective. I'm telling you straight up, they screwed that case up. There's no way that house should have been a crime scene, and that house should have been searched with a search warrant from the top to the bottom and the yard. I'm telling you, that's a screw up.
I know. It's a big one.
Yes.
It's a big one.
Yep. That's major screw up.
I understand that we're a small rural county out here
Right.
in the middle of nothing. So they don't see something like this every day.
Right.
But
And you're right. That's true. You're right. The smaller PDs, they don't see it every day. Listen, and I'm not cutting them up because I came from a small PD. I started in a small police department, then I went to a middle-sized one. But, yes, small PDs, they just don't have the equipment. They don't have the money. And they don't have the time in their budget. Honestly, I hate to say this, it even comes down to overtime with them small towns. It really does. That's why I always push for bigger police departments. We need to regionalize police because these small police departments can't handle it. It's the truth. And I'm not cutting them up. It's just too hard for them. You know?
Oh, I have so many. Well, my nephew was a deputy up in Springfield.
Okay.
My daddy was an auxiliary deputy for Pemiscot County. I mean, we believe in blue. We believe heartily. Oh, they'll find him.
Yes.
They'll find out what happened.
Right.
And 2.5 years later, they didn't. And the state guys were in there that night when Debbie called.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Jeannie. What I'm going to do is, and I wanted to do this every time somebody comes on my show like this, I'm going to make sure at the end of each one of our episodes, we put their picture up. So we actually put it up every single episode until they're found. And we're going to start doing that. And we're going to start with your son.
Thank you.
Yeah, so every week, even next week, when we end the show, and we'll put some of these pictures up. We'll put his missing picture up because that's my goal for this show. You know, I'm not a cop anymore. I can't go out there and work the streets. The only thing I could do is use my mouth. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you through with my mouth. And I promise you, we will not forget about you.
That I understand that they are doing all they can do.
Right.
But call other people. I want, in the end, because I'm in it for the long haul now.
Right.
Till I find him. We all are. I hate to say because, like with Sheila putting me in touch with you.
Right.
It's just been the community. It's
right.
so great. And they're all like, what happened to Mark?
Right.
What do y'all think happened to Mark? I want it to be nationally.
Right.
That if some kind of law, because I've talked to so many police above Pemiscot County and got the same answer. They got to request it.
Right.
You know, it ought to be where the family can say,
oh,
okay,
I agree.
Y'all done all y'all can do. Yeah.
I agree with you.
And go.
I totally agree with you. It should be the family. And listen, I know for a fact I would never give up on a missing person if I was a cop. I would have somebody assigned to all the cold cases. I really would. Because the family deserves that. You deserve closure. I mean, that's got to be the worst thing that could happen to you. And I so apologize. And I promise you, Jeannie, we will keep this in the front. I promise you that. And you can also come on the show anytime you want.
Oh, I appreciate it.
And please give me an update. When you hear anything, give me an update, okay? Mm-hmm. Definitely. Any updates, we will get it on here. And before you go, could you give us one last thing about Mark so that my viewers out there will fight and look for him? What is a great quality about Mark? Give us some good qualities about him.
Well, you touched on it in your promo.
Okay.
About his cross necklace. I mean, you look at Mark Randall, you see all these tattoos, you think thug.
Right.
Well, he was an artist. He was just really good.
Right.
But a couple of years before this happened to Mark, he was going through a tough time.
Right.
and my mom, his grandmother,
Right.
was standing behind him at the doctor's office, and she took off her cross and put it on Mark's neck
Okay.
and patted it and said, "Don't take this off, son." And he never did.
Yep. I'm the same way. I'd never take my cross off either. It's just something, once you put it on, you keep it on. Just something with
Right.
you. So listen, Jeannie, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for calling into the show. I promise you, please stay in touch with me. Anything we could do for you, we're here for you. And if I get any tips, I will forward them to you and the police department.
Oh, Danny, thank you so much, and thank you to everybody for.
No problem.
I mean, I can't believe we can't solve this because everybody wants it solved.
Yes. Thank
You know,
you.
we're a ritualistic kind of people. Yeah, we
I-
got to have it done.
I hear you. Thank you so much for calling in,
All right,
Jeannie.
Dean.
All right, bye-bye. Folks, that is such a sad case. It really is. We actually have somebody in the studio. I'm going to see at the end of the studio, she also has a missing person in her family. I don't know if she wants to come up. If she does want to come up, we can bring her up in the next 5 or 10 minutes if she wants to talk about it. We're going to let her decide. She is in the studio, so we're going to see. We would love to help her. But listen, if anybody has any calls, anybody has anything about Mark, would you want to do that or no? No? Okay, maybe at the end of the show? All right, we'll see. We'll see if she feels it. If she doesn't, that's okay. We want to help, but we totally understand. It's a hard thing to talk about. It definitely is a hard thing. Listen, Jeannie, you are one of the best aunts I could think of. 3 years later, Jeannie, you're still out there. You're still looking. The mother's still looking. The family's still looking. I don't blame you. If this was anybody in my family, oh my God, that police department would hate my guts. They would hate my guts. I would call them every day. They would look at me and hate me because I would not let it go. And I see you're doing the same, and keep it up because your family and Mark deserves justice. And I'm going to say justice because there's no way Mark decided to just run away with no shoes on, no shirt, no truck, no wallet. Come on. We're not stupid. There's some comments on TikTok. His dad? What's his dad saying if anybody could? What? Oh, Kevin. It's not Mark? Oh, okay. Mark's dad's actually, welcome Mark's dad. I'm sorry. If anybody sees the comments, I can't read the TikTok comments. If anybody could read them, tell me that'd be great. Nothing. He said Mark was in there. She told me he passed away. Okay. Got it. All right. Listen, guys. Anybody else wants to call in? Call in. We'll talk about everything. I want to talk a little bit about the Nicola Bowley case. That's out of the UK. They have found her body, folks. They found her. She was missing. I don't know. I'm going to say about 3 weeks she's been missing. They found her body. It was down probably, I guess, a little ways, about a mile away from she was last seen walking her dog. And let me go over the case real quick. And I know a lot of my followers on TikTok really were going over this case. So if anybody has any opinion, please call in. And I'm talking to TikTok over there. Call in. 1-833-847-7227. What happened to Nicola? She dropped her kids off, 6 and 9 at school. So she drops them off. Then she comes back home. Her husband, her partner, he's not her husband, but her boyfriend, he is on a work call. And she goes to walk the dog by the river. Something she does all the time. She takes the dog and walks down by the river, okay? She takes the dog down there, and about 10 minutes later, she goes on to a conference call at work, and there's a bench, and she has her phone there on the bench. 10 minutes later, people find her dog running around loose, and they find her cell phone still connected to work, and Nicola is gone. There is a 20-minute window from the time she left the house until she went missing, and they found her dog. So in 20 minutes from the time she left her house to the river, somehow she is gone. Now, they found her body in the river. Now, when we talk about a river, I saw this, folks. This isn't like a fast-moving river, okay? This ain't Niagara Falls, okay? This isn't some fast-moving river where if you fall in, to me, and people laughed at me, but I come from Northeast Pennsylvania. I called it a creek, however you want to say it. It's slow. To me, it looked like slow-moving water, okay? It really did. And they also said where she would have fell in, it wasn't deep. It was like 18 inches, 2 feet. Okay? So how would you fall into a river and drown in this? I don't see it. I just don't. And right now, the police are just marking it as that she may have fell in this river, or they're saying that she had alcoholism and she was going through depression and they believe she may have unalived herself in this video, in this river. To me, that is, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I mean, people say to me, well, she could have fell into the river. Okay, she walked every single day by that river. How many times she fall in the river? 0. How many people do you know fall into a river? None. Okay? It would happen. It'd be a fluke if it happened. So the odds of this lady having this bad luck like this, I just don't see it. To me, they got to start looking into cell phones. They got to start looking at computers. They got to start interviewing people. They got to get boots on the ground and start interviewing people. Because to me, this case is suspicious. 100% this case is suspicious to me. And finding the body like a mile down in the reefs, they're saying, I think, this is what I think. And that part of the river was the closest part of the river next to the highway. So my thing is, was she taken from there and then brought back to the river? That's what I'm thinking, because they looked up and down that river and couldn't find her for weeks at a time. And now all of a sudden her body shows up. Now I'm going to tell you this, when a body does go down, it does take a while for the body to come up, especially in a lake. Okay? So it may take 5 days for a body to come up after it's down. But in a river, I think it would bring it up more. Now I'm no expert.